Hi, it's Catherine here from Lullaby Lodge. Today I'm going to show you how to crochet this super cute shades case. We will learn how to crochet the motifs, how to join them using the join as you go method, how to seam them together and add a hanging loop. So you need to start with Aran weight yarn, Aran or worsted weight yarn and a 3.5mm hook. We're going to put a slip knot on the hook and chain 4. We're going to join with a slip stitch to that first chain. Now you might find working with such a small hook the yarn feels very splitty when you're working with cotton. Right, let's chain 3. This counts as a double crochet. Now I'm going to go ahead and put 11 double crochet into the ring. For a total of 12 double crochet, then join with a slip stitch to the top of your chain 3. I'm going to carry on with the same colour, but if you wanted to you could fasten off here and join in a new colour. If you're joining in a new colour you want to put your hook in between the stitches and pull your new colour through. I'm just going to slip stitch into that space instead and chain 3. I'm going to put another double crochet into that same space. And then 2 double crochet into the next space. And I'm going to go ahead and put 2 double crochet into each space all the way around. Okay, so I've gone all the way around with 2 double crochet in each space. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the top of this chain 3 and I'm going to fasten off this colour. Okay, so I'm going to join in my main colour now. I'm going to put my hook in between group of 2 clusters of stitches, pull my new colour through and chain 3. I'm going to put 2 double crochet in the same place. Which makes a granny cluster. I'm then going to put a granny cluster into each space all the way around. So that's 3 double crochet into the next space and in each space around. Right, let's join to the top of that chain 3. And now we're going to shape our motif. So if you look at this one that I've made here, half of the motif is actually a square and the other half is a circle. So first of all we're going to slip stitch into this next chain space. So we'll slip stitch into the next 2 stitches, then into that chain space. I'm going to chain 4. This counts as a treble crochet. I'm going to put 2 more trebles into the same space. Going to chain 1 and then 3 more trebles into that same space. This makes our corner. Next I'm going to put 3 double crochet into the next space. And in the next space as well. In the next space we're going to do another corner, so 3 trebles, chain 1, 3 trebles. So we've got our 2 corners here. In the next 2 spaces we're going to put 3 double crochet, so regular granny cluster in each of those next 2 spaces. In the next space we're going to put a granny cluster and a double crochet, so that's 4 double crochet. And in the next 1, 2, 3 spaces we're going to do exactly the same, a granny cluster and a double crochet. Okay, so there's 2 more spaces left for us to work in, and we're going to put a granny cluster in each of those. And then join with the slip stitch to the top of that chain 4. And fasten off. Okay, for your glasses case, you need to go ahead and make 1 more motif exactly the same as this. And then 2 motifs only up to round 3. Okay, so we've gone ahead and finished up to round 3. I'm then going to slip stitch across to this next space. So let's slip stitch in the next 2 stitches. I'm going to chain 4 for our first treble, and we're going to put 2 more trebles into that same space. And now we're ready to start joining to the other motif. So you need to have your motif with the wrong side facing and hold it behind your other motif. Now look for that first corner there. We're going to put a hook through there and then just do a slip stitch. And then we're going to do chain 1 for the corner, and then we're going to put 3 trebles into that same space. And then we're going to go back to our other motif. We're going to look for the next space along and do a slip stitch, then a granny cluster in the next space, then look for the next space and slip stitch, granny cluster in the next space, and we're going to join with a slip stitch to the next space again. Now we're ready to start our next corner, so we're going to put 3 trebles into the next space, find that corner, join with a slip stitch and chain 1, and then 3 more trebles into that same space. And as you can see there, we have joined with the join as you go method. Now in the rest of the motif, you're just going to finish this off exactly as you did the first one. So in the next 2 spaces, regular granny cluster, and the next 4 will be a granny cluster plus a double crochet, so that's 4 double crochet in the next 4, 2 more granny clusters, and then join with a slip stitch to the top of your chain 4. Once you've joined to that chain 4, you can fasten off. Okay, so you should end up with 2 pieces like this. Look at them both and decide which one you want to be the front and the back. It doesn't really matter, whichever one you think looks the neatest. I'm going to go with this one. So we're going to have them wrong sides together. To start off with, just when you're working into this front piece. Now I'm going to put a slip knot on my hook. Now look where the corner is here, and you've got 1, 2 clusters. We're going to put a single crochet into the first stitch of that 3rd cluster. Like so, and then we're going to start working a single crochet into each stitch around, and we're going to keep going until we get to the same place but on the opposite side. So I've worked around, and as you can see, my last single crochet has gone into that last stitch of that cluster there, and then there's 2 more clusters we haven't worked into. We're now going to start working through both pieces, so you need to have a look on the other side and find matching stitch. So the next stitch will be the first stitch, so we want to find that first stitch here, so I'm going to put my hook through and find the first stitch on the other side, so your hook is going through both pieces, and then single crochet, and you're going to do this for every stitch all the way around back to the beginning. When you get to the corners of the granny square, you're going to put your single crochet into that corner space, into the corner space on the other side, single crochet. We're also going to put one in that gap in between the squares where we joined, and the same on the other side, single crochet, and then into the next corner, another single crochet, and then we're going to start working back through the stitches, joining both pieces together as we go along. Okay, so I crocheted all around the piece, crocheting both sides together, and we're going to end by joining into this first single crochet with a slip stitch and then fasten off. Okay, we're now going to flip our piece over, and if you see here in the last stitch where it was joined, where both sides were joined together, you're going to put your hook in there and join in the yarn with a slip stitch, and then we're going to start to single crochet around this side. So we're working a single crochet in each stitch until we get to the center. Okay, so we're at the center now, and you've got a space here just between these two groups of clusters. We're going to put a single crochet in there, and then we're going to chain 30. Okay, so I've got my chain of 30 stitches. Just be careful not to twist that. We're now going to put a slip stitch into the side of the single crochet. So put your hook through that loop on the left side, and same through the loop at the back on the left side, and just put a slip stitch in there. Now the chain of 30 makes quite a short hanging loop. If you want to make this longer, you can totally go ahead and do that. We're now going to continue by putting a single crochet in each of the remaining stitches. Take care of this one because it's kind of hidden underneath the other single crochet, but make sure you work into that one too. Okay, so I've worked all the way around. I'm just going to finish by putting a slip stitch into that stitch here, the first one where you can see the two pieces are joined together. Just going to slip stitch in there, and then fasten off and weave in your ends. Now to close your loop, take it to the front, put it through that top space, and then pull your loop through center, and there you have your hanging loop. Now this video is part of a Holiday in the Sun series. In the next videos I will be showing you how to make a matching AirPod case and a matching eye mask. So be sure to check out those videos next. Bye bye now.